Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to another session of Speak Your Mind. Another happy, nice Saturday night here with you in your living room. Hopefully to, engage you and bring out those, heated topics and interesting topics and all the information that you guys need to get out there. So the people who are responsible for making changes, positive changes in our life, can hear them and hopefully make some changes. So welcome again. We are live tonight. I am here live and direct. So please call your friends, your neighbors, and all the folks that like to tune in to the show. Tell them that I'm back. I'm not gone. I'm still here. Take a break for a little while. I was back last week. Took a few weeks off to relax and do some other things, and everybody thought I had gone. But I'm back. I'm here tonight. So let's do what we normally do on a good Saturday night. Engage each other. Get the information out there. And let's make a difference together. Like one of my good friends on the radio always say, be the change you want to see. If you're not the change that you want to see, don't expect change. So if you're not taking part in the discussion, you're not taking part in doing things that are positive, if you're not participating in activities, then don't expect to see anything different. So let's start tonight. Let's start that action tonight. Let's make the change that we want to see. So let's be that change. Of course, we know tonight we got a lot of competition, a lot of good stuff going on around the territory, especially here in Tortola. So I know it's going to be tough trying to get some of you to participate, because many of you like to sit back and relax and wait for someone else to open up the phone lines and encourage you to get a little bit more courage so you can call in and give your 2 cents. But don't feel no way. Don't sit back. Don't wait. If you have something you want to get out there, let's hear it. I want to commend the lady last week. Before I even opened up the phone line, she called and let us know about, her dissatisfaction with hospital system and looking at, the amount of time and money that we have collected in this territory. And according to her, she felt as if we had nothing to show for it. So, that's what it's about. That's what the show is about. It's about you, your opinion. We're not always going to agree to what you say, but if it is worthwhile considering, let's hear it. Let's put it out there because, again, whether we understand it or realize it or not, sometimes the people who can make the difference are listening, and when they're not listening, we know for a fact that some of you work for them, and you're out there listening, you're recording the show, you're taking notes, and you're listening to what the people have to say. And we've seen that a number of times on this show. We've seen where, enough people call and complain about a particular situation, and guess what? Changes were made, even if it wasn't publicized. Changes were made. So we know that we make a difference together. So let's continue to make that difference together. So we know we have, tonight we have, there's a debate going on with some of the schools. I want to congratulate them. I think that's a great idea. We need to have more debate with our politicians. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think the same way that the schools debate each other on topics, we should demand and we should ask for our politicians to face each other like they do in the United States and other countries and debate particular topics. What do you think about that? Give me your 2 cents on that. What do you think about our politicians debating each other, starting the next general election or leading up to the next general election? Aren't you tired sometimes? You get all these fancy speeches about what we're going to do and what they're going to do and who's going to make changes and what changes they're going to make, and they throw words at each other. Why not come together in a public forum, such as the Cultural Center or the Multi-Sports Complex, and have a debate? Let's have a debate on crime. Let's pull different people who are in government and people who are vying to get into government, and let's hear them debate about how they combat crime. Let's see them debate about health. Health issues is a major, major problem in this country. And when I say that, this is what I'm talking about. Again, so we have the debate going on. Another question I have for you is, are you guys concerned as much as I am about the amount of sudden deaths we have in this country. And when I say sudden deaths, I'm talking about people who are dying, are found dead, and we don't know exactly what killed them. I know sometimes you want to have a family business to be a secret. That's fine. I can live with that. But, you know, the secret is what's holding us back. Because there are too many people in this country who are dying, and we hear all these rumors about this and about that, and we need to know. We need to know if there's bad water. We need to know if there's bad food. We need to know if there's some chronic illness going around in the country. We need to know if people are killing each other or killing us. We need to know if it's radiation from these cell phone towers. We don't know. And I think we as a community, we as a people, we need to hold our politicians accountable. So I want to send out and sound off a special request to the Minister, Honorable Ronnie Skelton, and his people in the health ministry to look into these deaths and give us some answers as to why so many people are dying and we are not hearing or not understanding. We don't know what's the cause of their death. If you know, fine. If we know that we don't have a problem, then give us some information that will ease the mind of people in this territory that we don't have a chronic issue, that we don't have people going around poisoning people, that we don't have bad food coming into this country unchecked, that we don't have cell phone towers from radiation from cell phone towers killing people. We need to know. People, you should be demanding these answers. Don't wait till when it's your brother, your sister. Again and again, I got to keep saying this. When it's your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your cousin, or somebody you know you love very much, you wake up one day and you hear that they're dead, and you don't even know why, and you're asking these questions. Don't wait till when it hits home to start asking the question. We should be asking the questions now regardless. I mean, if it doesn't bother you guys, something is wrong. Since this year broke, we probably had about 4, 5, or 6 deaths that, you know, so-and-so was found dead in their home. You know, I mean, on and on and on. Something needs to be done about that. We need to look into it. So I want to get your feedback on that. What do you think about the amount of deaths we have in this country? Where, you know, we constantly hear about the rumors, maybe it was this that killed them, or maybe, we need to know for sure. We have pathologists that come here, I believe. We had one here recently. I don't know what's happening with that situation because from what I understand, he had a situation himself. But I know we used to have one coming in from Florida, I believe. If I'm mistaken on the location where he comes from, please let me know so the rest of us know. But we supposedly have one that come in and do all the investigation, look at the type of deaths, and come to some conclusion. Because anywhere else in any developed country or developing country, I mean, take for example, recently there was a case in one of the other Caribbean islands. I don't want to name the island, but it was a situation where you had 2 separate incidents. 2 ladies died after childbirth. Immediately the government called for an investigation. Immediately the government called for an investigation as to why 2 people back to back, I mean, they were a week apart from each other. They were delivering their babies. Babies were born, and the women died right after. We should have those concerns as well. Same thing happened in New York, in a particular hospital in New York recently. Boom, 2 ladies went in. Within 3 days of each other, they died. The state of New York, the city of New York City, they started an investigation. They said, stop it, no. Why is it we got so many deaths going on in this country? Different people. Found dead, sudden death, you know, on and on and on. At least 4 people or 3 people that I can recall within the past 6 months. This is the same story. My last friend, my good friend Earl, died. My good friend English died recently. The gentleman on top of the hill, Maddox, died, found dead. Young man that used to work for BVI Electricity, found dead. That's 4. If that is not enough to sound some kind of bell, something is wrong. So again, help me out with this one. I don't think this is something that we need to worry about as to whether or not you're too controversial or, you know, you're not picking on anybody. We're simply asking or demanding that the system do a thorough investigation, put this information in some kind of statistical form, and then bring the information back to the people in a way where you're not exposing anybody's business, but you're giving the statistics as to, we know for sure the amount of people that died so far died of natural causes, as an example, if that's the case. And we should all write some kind of letter to the governor, because situation like that really comes down to the governor. And I know the governors, he says sometimes he read the blogs. So if the blogs pick this up tomorrow, Monday, we're sending a request out to the governor to investigate the amount of deaths that are going on in this country. We need to know why they're happening. We need to know the causes. Put the people's mind at ease, because it's important. It's very important. So I need to get your feedback on that tonight. Call me, let me know. Is it a concern to you? You have an idea what you think is causing some of the deaths? Is it radiation from cell phone towers? Is it bad food? Is it bad medicine? You know, whatever the situation is, whatever you believe, you know, could be the cause of so many deaths. If it's not natural health, you know, disease, diabetes, complication of diabetes, if that's the case, fine. I can live with that. But if that's not the case, then we need to know. I don't know about you, but we need to know. And I believe that we need to call upon the people who are responsible to tell us what's going on. Because again, if, you know, we had a situation here with some mosquito outbreak, some type of issue over in Jost Van Dyke. We knew immediately about that. We had several cases, boom. This is what I'm talking about. We need to hold our people accountable, and the people need to report to us. We need to know. I'm concerned. I am very concerned. There's too many unknown sudden deaths in this country. And if you ain't concerned, if you know, ain't sitting back and thinking, you know what, that dude is onto something, man. Just think about it. Think about the amount of people. You know, people going to Virgin Gorda, going to a hospital in the middle of the night. You know, before they can even get to Tortola, they're dead. Young people. We're not talking about people who are, you know, as far as we know, who are chronically ill and didn't get their medication. We're talking about people who wake up having chest pain. Boom, before they can get to the hospital, they're dead. My good friend, you know, we just buried him last week. You know, condolences to all the families out there who lost a loved one. Another situation, that's 5. And a young lady from Virgin Gorda, that's 6. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to wake up. Something is going on. You know, I don't know if any of you ever notice. Sometimes you go to the supermarket, any supermarket. We're not picking on just one supermarket. We're talking about food that are being imported into this country. I would like somebody to explain to me, what does it mean when it say on the side of some of these boxes that the products come in for export only? What does that mean? Is that a health issue? Is it a concern? Or does it just mean that the products are made only for export because the supplier is getting some kind of tax break if he export to foreign countries? I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but it's real. Sometimes you go to some of the shelves, you look at some of the products, you'll see a label on it that say for export only. What does that mean? Is it not good enough for the country it's coming from? We should be asking these questions. And furthermore, who inspects the food that come into this country? Think about that. We go to the supermarket. I was listening, on the way here, I was listening to another talk host, and he was talking about agriculture. I don't want to talk about agriculture, but he was just talking about the fact that we eat so much stuff off the shelf, processed food, provision, vegetables and so forth, and it's imported. Who inspects the food that are being imported into this country? Who's certified that the food is good for our local consumption? Somebody need to be asking these questions. So, I know you guys are out there. We have our loyal viewers, many of you who watch the show, like you go to church every Sunday. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm waiting for those calls. When we come back off a break, we're gonna open up the phone lines and take those phone calls. So tonight, I know it's hot. I know there's a lot of things going on. We have the big block party tonight downtown, right in front of the BVI taxi stand, right across from Bobby's and down to Scotia Bank. Big jump up tonight. It's a great idea. Congrats to the people who are responsible for coming up with that idea. It's a way to exhibit the culture, the history, the whole nine. Give us a little tease as to what we should expect during our celebration coming up, the 60th. We know we got a lot of family members coming back in town this year just to take part in that. So after the show, because it's going till 2 o'clock, after this show, if you want to go down there and check it out, definitely go support culture alive and well, BVI culture alive and well. The block party down in front of the taxi stand, the BVI taxi stand, right across from the jerk stand, right across from Bobby Supermarket. That's coming open pretty soon. Again, we have the debate at the Cultural Center. You know, we have the debate with some of our school kids, so if you want to go down after this show, I'm still hoping that one will still be going. You can go down there and check that out. So we got a number of things happening tonight, but I don't want you to turn the dial. Leave the dial right where it is. So we'll take a break. When we come back, if you want to feed off what I just mentioned, feel free. Hopefully my good friend Courtney will be here by the time we get back, so we can, I haven't seen him in a while, and we can have that conversation together, he and I. You know, I was out there telling you guys that he fired me, and he did, and he told me I can come back, so I'm back now. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Say hello to the Digicel DL700, our newest best value Android smartphone with a 4-inch display, front-facing camera, and a 5-megapixel rear camera. It's perfect for snapping and sharing. Plus, it's super fast, so you can do more, play more, and share more. And choose to download from over 1 million apps available in the Google Play Store. The Digicel DL700, the latest addition to the Digicel Android smartphone range. Make the smart choice. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
All right, so welcome back. So again, you got two really nice topics out there if you guys want to touch those topics. Something I didn't mention earlier, and I wanted to mention it before my good friend Courtney come in, is of course on the 2nd to the 5th of next month, we have the Queen Baton coming to the territory. And I think it's very, very important that we all take part in that. All of us who live, work, exist in the BVI, it's the Queen Baton is the leading up to the Commonwealth Game. The Commonwealth Game is coming up this year in Scotland. So I think it's very important if we all could take part in that. The baton is sort of a relay that goes around the territory. They're going to have a number of places, a number of stops. And they're going to have an open ceremony on Tortola, one on Virgin Gorda. So if you guys want to get in on that, go hit the BVI Olympic Committee website. You'll see a map, a route, of the baton relay. It's coming. This is an opportunity for all of us, again, who live, work, exist in the BVI, who call ourselves BVI landers for whatever reason. The nice thing about that is it's made up of all the Commonwealth nations. And a lot of us who live and exist in the BVI are part of a Commonwealth nation. So nobody should sit back and say, it's not about you. It is about you. It's about all of us. But it's a good opportunity for us to exhibit ourselves, our culture, you know, a clean island. You know, they're going to have people from BBC and all these major publications that's going to be following the baton, looking at the participation of our people throughout the territory. So let's all get on board. The 2nd of April to the 5th of April, the Queen Baton Relay is going to be here. So let's all take part.
So I know you're on a roll, but I want to tell the good people of the Virgin Islands good night.
Yes. So sitting next to me is Courtney.
And I also want to tell you that I think we probably could take this opportunity. You see, you mentioned a word there, clean up. We could take this opportunity to get the territory clean up.
Definitely.
Because in the past, I think the Queen been here about 3 or 4 times already. And when the Queen was coming here, you could always tell because the roads will get fixed, the buildings will get painted, all the debris from along the side of the road will get cleaned up. So we could pretend, you know, we could pretend for the Golden Jubilee. Not the Golden Jubilee, the
baton.
The baton
relay, yeah.
Passing through, you know, when it passing through, make sure that everything, the photo opportunities are there. You're laughing, but this is business.
Yes,
you know? This is tourism business.
Yes.
So you want to put on your best look.
That's right.
Especially when international journalists are taking pictures and passing through the place.
That's right.
Not to mention it helps to lift the spirit of the citizens as well. You know, go and, you know, paint up all the speed bumps, you know. Do all the little things where we know we ain't getting done all along, but use the opportunity to do these things. Well, I think it's an excellent opportunity.
It sounds like you're sending out an invitation to the people responsible, us, all of us included, but the people especially in the different departments who are responsible for making sure the speed bumps are well painted up and homes and backyards are cleaned up and like you said, those photo ops. So I think, Courtney, I support that. I think it's a great idea.
One time I was in Montserrat, right, and they used to have competition among the districts. You know, the cleanest district, the well-presented district, and all these things. We could have the same thing, you know. I mean, I don't see any reason why not.
Definitely.
Especially if the district representatives get involved and push it.
Yeah.
You know, they can say my district better than yours.
That's right. Well, that'd be an awesome idea.
Yeah.
So don't forget, this is a golden opportunity. The Queen Baton Relay is coming to the BVI next month. This is a prelude to the Commonwealth Games that's coming up in Scotland this year. So it's an opportunity again for all of us to shine. You know, the BVI is a shining light regardless, but we can always shine brighter. So Courtney said, let's all take this opportunity to clean up our backyard, our front yard, you know, paint up our buildings. Let's get the government agencies to get out there. I noticed, Courtney, though, that they're getting out there now and patching a lot. They're doing a lot of patching in some of the roads. So even though it creates that feeling, at least we're getting the holes patched. So I want to big up Public Work. Brother Skelton out there, he doing his best with a little bit that he have. But I think a little bit more could be done. But you know, we'll wait and see what happens between now and next year. The end of next year, I believe a lot more will be done based on finance and so forth. So let's all take part, ladies and gentlemen. Another big thing I see in the news this week, if I want to mention, is that there was a bill that passed recently. I don't know how many of you care and take part in noticing these things, but there was a bill passed where laws, BVI laws, will be an electronic farm. What does that mean? I'm hoping that means that at some point we don't have to go down to the Lowry Farm office or maybe the office there by underneath the DPP office to find information on any particular law. That the law will be online, on stream, so we can just type in BVI law, section whatever, and pull up the law. It helps all of us when we're doing research and so forth about particular laws within the BVI. I think it's about time. And something that really struck me, Courtney, I don't know, you probably know more about this than I do. I went there recently to do a little research, and there's a book that published about all the different sections within the BVI law. And that book is published in Trinidad. I would have thought that book would have been published here in the BVI, but it's published in Trinidad. I was a bit taken back by that. I didn't understand that one. But it's all the different laws, the sections, the categories, the directory for the laws and so forth. It seems like that is published every year. We send the information to them, they organize it for us, and then print the book, send it back to us, and charge us for that work being done. I thought something like that could have been done right here in the BVI, but
it depends on the contracted arrangement that the particular place have. But you're correct though. We should be looking at value for money with everything that we do, and keeping the jobs here, the jobs here in the Virgin Islands.
Definitely.
We got 2 texts that came in, Sam. One of them saying, Sam, I see a boss sticky back.
Yes.
Propaganda machine walking by. Another text. I have a concern. On Friday, when a tourist from the ship fell sick and wanted to go back to the ship, I called a taxi. They gave me the number who is coming. They asked how much people. I said 1. We waited half an hour. They never came. I had to run down the road to get a taxi for the customer. That didn't a lot for taxi service. That didn't do a lot for taxi service. That's true. The person that sent that text, we're working on it, man. We're trying our best to get this frontline crew.
Yeah. But
on
listen. I'm gonna defend the taxi, and I'm also gonna agree with the person who texts. We got a big problem when it comes to transportation, from a ferry service to an airline access to taxis on the ground. We got a lot of taxi operators in this territory who doesn't understand the global picture, the bigger picture. So, but at the same time, personally, if somebody fell ill, I would have probably called 911, because we don't want them to go back to the ship sick, and then they might use that as an excuse to say they got ill here, and we didn't have any documentation. So in a situation like that, if you have an opportunity, again, please call 911 or 999 and report the incident so we can get some kind of record on that situation. But if it's just they feeling, like they didn't want to be a part of the territory and they wanted to go back to the ship, I can understand that. But just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, it is a challenge with taxis and transportation. A lot of the taxi stands, between a certain hours every day, guys are out in the field. We're working on better communication. We're hoping that the government, the Ministry of Communication, yes, we all depend on the government. We're hoping that the Ministry of Communication will find it through the Taxi Livery Commission, maybe find a little extra money that they can give the BVI taxi stand a little money to help us buy some radios so we can have dispatch systems set up, and that would better serve the community out there. So, because we may have had a guy next door but didn't know. He might have been on his way but got caught up in traffic. And some of just the other day, Thursday, Friday, it was a nightmare out there trying to get around. So
well, I was a little concerned on Friday, and I was to the point where I was actually disappointed. I'll tell you why. There was a situation on the dual carriageway. The electricity were doing some work there, so they had a current off. And Public Works were doing some work there because they were doing some patching. So the lights were out, had a lot of traffic, and it wasn't nice, right? And all of that is in one ministry, the Ministry of Communication and Works, right? No, you're laughing, Sam, but when something like that happens, if you have an accident, it's really regrettable, it's regret. And then on top of all of that, I didn't see anybody really, paying any attention to, to start to make it a smooth transition. Luckily, everything went well. The light came back on, and I didn't see any incident, but I don't know if it had an incident, but we could avoid those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, Courtney, I saw the same thing. I actually was heading in the opposite direction, and my customer who was in my vehicle said, look at them, they could have done that at a different time of day. and this is, I think this is right in front of Treasure Isle. The guys were patching a whole stretch of road there on one side.
But the electricity was off.
And I agree with you.
And that light in front of Treasure Isle, that won't come on now for months.
Yeah.
That's been off for months.
I think sometimes, Courtney, I look at some of these guys out there, especially the guys who cut the grass, solid waste. Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but, you know, sometimes you drive, and I'm so concerned about some of these dudes, man. They get out there, they turn their back to traffic. Some of them standing in the road, cutting, doing their work. There's no proper flagging system. There's no proper warning system. There's nobody in front or behind them.
It's one person.
One person. There's nobody with a sign.
He has no guard for the debris that's flying from the machine. Right? Yeah. It's a dangerous operation too. And when we're talking about that too, Sam, it have some of our drivers on the road here. When they see an incident, a situation like that, they speed up instead of slowing down. I cannot understand that. I really can't understand that. If you see men on the road walking, common sense should tell you, this is a dangerous situation. I need to slow down. Yeah. You know, that should kick in. That's like a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah. You know, I see a dangerous situation, slow down. Yeah. Not speed up.
I agree.
In some places, if you get an accident in a situation like that, you get double the fine, right? Because that's really you know, provoking a situation, you know, a situation that you shouldn't provoke.
Yeah. In most cases, you got the guys who are working, and they're doing a good job. A lot of them. I mean, the guys got to clean. Public work got to do their job. They're doing a good job. And like
water and sewage got to do their job.
But
all of them got to do their job.
They should do their job with a smart approach. Yeah. So all of that fall under, again, like you said, Courtney, the same ministry. And I'm telling the Minister for Communication and Work and the different department I work on in the Ministry of Communication and Work, Public Work, Water and Sewage, Solid Waste, get proper flaggers, get those signs that stand up that say one side says stop, the next side say go, put some headphones on so you could, with radios, so you could communicate to the next guy up. You know, especially in the morning, we got to start thinking. You know, there's an organization in the States called OSHA. Yes. I think it's called OSHA, Courtney. Yeah. And they pretty much are responsible for improvement and safety on the workplace. And if we were part of a system like that, you'd never see them guys out there working.
I'm sorry to tell you, but we are. Our labor code covers that.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. The 2010 labor code covers that.
Wow. That's a shame.
It still has to be developed, though.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're correct. You know, the working conditions of workers is a very important issue, and it has financial, insurance, all kind of implications. Yeah. And we need to pay a bit more attention to that type of thing, I think. We had a couple of text time. Let me just read them real quick so we could get on what we're doing. So, Courtney and Sam, good night. Water and Sewage wants to make life more difficult for us in the BVI by introducing a new law concerning our water supply. We are suffering already with water supply. Help us. He said it was on BVI News this week, and then it did not appear again. I don't know, we'll have to keep our eyes and ears out. He said, nice show. Your tires are lovely. Oh, thank you. Sam, you must say thank you when you get a compliment. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here with you with the Speak Your Mind show. It's an open show. We have the numbers up there as well. 300-1949 if you're going to call, or 300-1950 if you're going to text. And remember that if you call or text with a Digicel phone, the call is absolutely free. Or call or text is absolutely free. Sam, the 60th anniversary, that's going on tonight. We're competing. We're competing with them guys down there shaking a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of competition tonight. Yeah. I mean, we have the debate.
We also have the debate.
Which hopefully we got a lot of parents out there supporting their kids in the debate.
And what do you think about the topics?
Well, some of them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening. You're free Speak Your Mind. Go right ahead, please. Good night. Yeah, good night.
Good night?
Yes, you're live with us here. Good night.
Yeah, just want to ask one question. Why is it that none of the parties, none of the governments is it that it seems like anybody after and every other place you hear they raise the minimum wage? Why is it everybody, the politicians, say afraid to address that issue? I live off there.
Well, I think I heard I think I heard the premier raise it already, if I'm not mistaken. Right? But I agree with you, Carla. You know, it's an issue that I have raised on this show myself. I thought that it's something that probably should be tied to the cost of living increase. When there's an increase in the cost of living index, then you should have an increase in the minimum wage. But when there's no increase, then you shouldn't have any increase. But for years now, we've been going along now. I can't even remember how long since the minimum wage is at $4. It's quite a number of years. And since then, for example, Social Security had seen it fit to increase the contributions that we make to Social Security. And they based it on the cost of living index. So if you have more money, if you have to have more money to pay Social Security, you should have more money to live, to buy food and everything else. So I agree with you, Carl. I think it's something that needs attention. I even went so far one time on the show to say that if you increase the minimum wage, that there are going to be less jobs. But nobody didn't take me too seriously on it. But I really feel that way. I feel that people will be more contented to work where they're working rather than working two or three jobs to try to make ends meet. That's what I think. If you pay a person properly, then they become more contented, and it's a better relationship between the employer and the employee. And that's my opinion on that. And Sam, what do you think?
Well, the question was why the politician them free to touch it.
Yeah.
There could be a number of answers. So I think the caller, along with other concerned people, should challenge the politician them. Again, we talk about debate, Courtney. You asked about the topic. I think this would be a nice topic. I put out there that I would like to see the politicians who are in know and the politicians who are the people who want to be politicians debate these type of issues. Debate these type of issues so people can have a better understanding. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're offshore jurisdiction and the operating cost of doing business has to be cheap or less than, or sometimes in some cases don't pay nothing at all in order to set up shop here. So that might have a big implication on the whole concept of raising the minimum wage.
But Sam, the industry has changed. I mean, more than 80%, to the point now where you don't even have to be here to do business in the Virgin Islands.
And I agree.
And so the dynamics of that is totally different now than it was in the past.
But the challenge with that, Courtney, is that, for example, I think last year we had a number of companies that send local people home, people who are here locally, not just BV Islanders, but local people home to employ foreign workers, people who are in Singapore. And it was said, we haven't been able to prove that yet, but it was said the reason being is the productivity of those people were more and the cost of doing business was less. So I think it's a challenge either way. I personally believe we ought to pay people more money. We ought to pay them better. And I agree with you, Courtney. I think if you pay people a better wage and they don't have to be jumping around working 5 and 6 jobs, you'll get better productivity. You'll get more loyal customers and loyal employees. And the employers themselves, a lot of these businesses, and we're talking about the businesses who are making millions of dollars, are doing well and could pay their employees better. But if you don't have true representation that's going to represent the people best interest, you'll never get any change. So
well, that's true, Sam, and it goes to what the caller alluded to too, that we need to engage decision makers on these issues, not just talk show hosts and people who are in the media, but we need to engage decision making people.
Yeah.
In this whole conversation about it's really about the economy of the country, because the salaries and, you know, the gross domestic product and the budget and all of these things are topical issues that we can talk about in an educated way. You know?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we can find out how you think before we vote for you.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
well, Courtney, they callers like that person I just called.
Yeah.
We should challenge them and people like them and people like himself to get out there and challenge a politician and to come on these shows. So the wider community can listen and hear from them. Not just when it's time for election, but no. You notice a lot of the politicians are running from the talk radios them and the talk shows them. They running from the real interviews where you get unscripted questions.
But
All of them running from that.
But don't forget they have the GIS.
No,
Don't make that's what they call it, Government Information Service.
I just said unscripted. Unscripted. All of them are running from areas, talk shows where they get real questions where they don't have a whole year to review and practice the answer. Because if they can't answer honestly, truthfully, based on experience and knowledge, then you know they're not real. So I think the caller, people like the caller, should start. One of the things I like that the National Democratic Party government did during the last election campaign leading up to the election, is they had some of the segments they had these questions and answer segment. I remember under the sticket up there by Long Bush. I remember one of the segment they had under the tent they had where people were able to ask questions that relate to issues and things. And I think we as concerned citizens should push for that more. If we can't get them to debate each other, then we should push where we don't just go and listen to these fancy speeches anymore. You know, because this is what we get when we get fancy speeches. We get people talking down to us, talking at us, and telling us what they think we want to hear, and then we're not able to ask the questions and get the real answers that we really want to get.
Yeah.
So
Sam, before I forget that, I want to talk a little bit about election reform sometime, and I also want to talk about the new governor that's coming. You know, the governor, the governor term is almost finished, right?
Oh, yeah.
I see Anguilla, I think it's Anguilla got a woman governor. You think we might get a woman?
Oh, yeah.
The first woman?
She might, listen, they all part of a big circle of people, you know, so
Yeah.
she might be
Influential.
2 or 3, yeah, she might be 2 or 3 down the road. You never know.
And suggesting a woman to come in, or even a black person. You have black people in, we laughing, you have black people in the UK.
I know. Listen.
Let's see what somebody texts me before you faint away. The minimum, somebody just put the minimum. Yeah, we know the minimum ain't nothing. We know that the average salary in the territory, according to information that I've seen, is $42,300. Now that's a skewed number because we know some people make a lot of money and some people are still making less than how much the politicians get in an allowance. So we know the numbers are skewed, but the minimum is to protect the people who have nobody to protect them. And it has, I think it's something that helps people that normally wouldn't be able to get help.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, that is so sad that you have to have a minimum because of the nature of the type of business that we're in. We're in an Adam Smith world, you know. We're in a greedy capitalist world. As much as we could make, we're going to make.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah, I really don't think a lot of these systems are designed to help poor people.
Someone just corrected me. Thank you there. He said the minimum wage has been $4 since 1994.
Wow. Wow.
So let me do the maths. Yeah. 94 to 2014.
20 years.
20 years.
But it used to be a lot less than that.
It used to be a lot less than that. Yeah.
It was what, 380 something or something.
In other words, if my memory serves me correct, the last person to change the minimum wage was Lavity Stout. Okay. So we're really our brother's keeper.
Yeah, I was saying that. I remember one time I was watching, I was reading something about the United Nations and some of their mandates, and to the World Bank and the IMF was to help eradicate poverty.
Yes.
And they actually have literature, a lot of literature on things like that.
Definitely.
But at the same time, I think it's a false information because when you really think about the IMF, the World Bank, and you look at the way they engage other countries, how they condition loans to some of these countries that are poor, that are hurting. You sometimes you got to ask, are they really trying to help you get out of poverty or keep you more in poverty? Because the money is never geared towards educating and helping small people to lift themselves up. The money is never there to help small businesses become more productive. It's always on a global scale, a national scale through the government. And then they always seems to lock down whatever the national interest of that country is, you know, and they always hold that as collateral. So at some point, they end up owning it. The countries who invest in the World Bank, it's a group of, you know, big time spenders, big time countries, the private investors through those savings accounts. They actually turn out to be the owners and operators of those national interests within that country. So the country never comes out of the loan situation. They always find themselves in it.
I understand what you're saying, but look at it from my point of view. If we didn't have corrupt governments and people who misrepresent the citizens, those things couldn't happen. Okay? If you're going to sign documents fully well knowing that you're going to be disenfranchising the citizens, you know, come on, you know, your money gonna get devalued. You're going to go into a situation where you're going to have to buy things from people at a ridiculous rate. These are the things that happen when you sign agreements with a blindfold on, or if you can't negotiate for your own people.
That's right.
The first thing to be in government, I think you should be able to negotiate for your people.
Yeah.
If you can't negotiate, you should go sit down.
I agree.
You know, let somebody else do the bidding.
I agree.
Sam, we have to make a quick break now for the person that make the show possible. So we're going to take a break and be right back with you.
Say hello to the Digicel DL700, our newest best value Android smartphone with a 4-inch display, front-facing camera, and a 5-megapixel rear camera. It's perfect for snapping and sharing. Plus, it's super fast, so you can do more, play more, and share more. And choose to download from over 1 million apps available in the Google Play Store. The Digicel DL700, the latest addition to the Digicel Android smartphone range. Make the smart choice. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Hey, welcome back. So we got a lot of topics out there. Feel free to call us. The numbers are right on the screen if you want to call and share your views. Again, we know the competition is tight tonight. We have Big Jump Up downtown. We got debates going on. We got other shows going on different radio and in television stations. So we know this is the right place to be though. So big us up, call us, let us know what's happening. Send your text if that's the way you want to communicate. We understand the need to do that sometimes. Courtney and I are back together tonight. We haven't been together in a long time. Courtney's been about 6 weeks since I last saw you. So I gotta tell you, you know, the rumor mill been out there. You know, people said that you fired me, and I wasn't happy about that.
You mustn't believe too much hype, man.
Yeah. But I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Courtney, I think we got a call.
Yeah, good evening. If you speak your mind, go right ahead, please.
Yes, good evening, brother.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, nice to see you all out there again live.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I just want to continue on from the last show we had, Sam.
and it's in respect to Hotel 8. And I am kind of like maybe seeking information or clarification on the subject, because a lot of these institutions, they come and they open, they operate, and we give them Hotel 8.
Yeah, some locals have it too, you know.
Excuse me?
Some locals have it as well.
Yes, okay, that's good. But can I be... Yeah, I got you. Can I ask you one question, though? That you may be able to confirm for me.
Go ahead.
Does the pioneer status of Hotel 8 whatever give the developer the right to become a purchasing or shipping agent or what have you? Because what I seem to be seeing here is that the investors or the developers, so to speak, that are undergoing these developments, what they're eventually doing is importing material, building material, furnishing, and so on for their clients. Meaning, you sell a piece of property, you make your money, you build a house, and then you manage the house. Now, in order to furnish the house, you are now going and sourcing material, maintenance stuff, furnishing, and what have you, for these people. These people buy land for millions. They build houses for millions, and you're still turning that and giving them breaks, such as you're allowed to purchase stuff through the developer who is not paying any taxes because he has utility. When a young man building a house, if he wants a sheet of galvanized, he has to pay his duty on it.
No. Let me stop you right there. There's a forced homeowner policy in place through the customs department, where the first homeowner will get his material in duty free as well. But what you're saying is still correct, because when you apply for Hotel 8, you have to list the things that you anticipate that you would need to carry out your functions, and they may very well include towel, toilet paper, etc., 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 vehicles, all kind of stuff. And once that list is approved, that's the list that you can use.
Yeah, and that is done infinitely without an end to it.
But Carla, I think you onto something though. I think
I'm onto something. What I'm onto, Sam, is the developers importing all the follow-up material, all the furnishing, the utilities, the very little soap powder, what have you. They're importing these stuff for their clients for infinity until the end.
Yeah, but
which means that our stores, our people who selling these materials are less than they.
yeah, I think my understanding of Hotel 8, right? If it belongs to, say, somebody who wants to develop something, a hotel, a guest house, or whatever, and he get that one-time break to do all the things that are necessary to get going. But I think the problem and the challenge that we're having in this country is that some of these people are having continual exemption, which shouldn't be.
That is the problem. That is where I see a problem.
Yes, and where I support you is that, for example, we got some development going on in the territory. The developer, the investor will purchase large sum of land.
Mm-hmm.
He'll subdivide that land and sell a plot for $4 million. Yeah. And then he'll sell a development concept for another $12 million. So he just made $16 million off the plot and the house, right? Mm-hmm. And then the person who should have, when the furniture and everything should have been included in that first time development, 10 years later, that person that wants to bring more stuff in, it's a continuous break. And those things are wrong. Those things are wrong. So, I mean, if the system wants to continue to lose money and then put the burden of responsibility on us, I think an investor or a developer or somebody coming into any territory, any country, any city, any state should bring real value. And the value should be a trickle-down economics, not a trickle-up.
It must be a trickle-down economics, or you're not doing anything for the community.
Yeah.
And this is what our legislators need to look at.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Well, Carla, let's talk about the bigger picture. Why are we providing this type of economic opportunity for outside people and not for local people?
Well, that was part of my follow-up question. That was part of my point, that we're providing this for these people, these millionaires, and we are suffering a little people here to bring out something from St. Thomas and Puerto Rico. Every single item is taxed. And I find that grossly unfair. Grossly unfair.
Share,
And like, for me, it puts a strain on the economy too, because the local vendors are not really doing anything.
I'll share a little story with you. Just today, I picked up 6 young people from Canada, all men, from a marina right there in the eastern area. And the guy asked me if do we see any benefit, because I asked them about sailing. I assumed they were sailing one of the local companies, and they said no, they came down for race week. And I'm thinking race week. And he asked me, I said, well, is it related to, the big boats, really big boats, and all the things that go with that? He says, yeah. I said, well, it's great for the territory overall, I guess. But for the individual in different areas, if most of everything had stayed in one spot, it doesn't benefit Cane Garden Bay, it doesn't benefit Josephine Dyke, that's going to benefit some of the other areas where we as a people, as a whole, need to be able to benefit. And a lot of that, like you said, sometimes when these mega ships come in, even some of these cruise ships, if they're not buying any type of supply from us locally, then what benefits are there to the territory?
Nothing.
So.
And you can see we have tourist arrival these days. We have tourists coming, but they're not spending any money. All they're doing is buying a bottle of water. They're even coming with their towels from the ship. And I guess the people on the ship, because I had an experience once where they would tell you not to walk with too much money because there's not too much available for sale. I don't know if this is how we are being promoted, but our tourist board, our tourist industry need to look at these things, how they promote. It's only a beach stop. For 9 out of 10, it's just a beach stop.
Well, Carla, as long as we continue to tell our people, sell to our local people that we need foreign investment to keep the country running, and that is how we're going to engage the foreign investment. If you get foreign investment and the foreign investment isn't doing anything meaningful for the country, you don't really have any foreign investment. All you're doing is selling the jobs.
That's exactly what's happening here. Nevertheless, while we're talking on that, I want to touch a little bit on the national park, because I've seen a lot of arrivals in the last few days, ships coming, people coming, going to the beach. But when you look at it, I heard somebody for the tourist board talk about the bathroom facility, they're not being completed, which is true. But I heard about the parking situation over there at the parks, where we have land, national parks have the land, and they fail to prepare a parking lot for that to accommodate the type of traffic, the volume of traffic that goes there.
But Carla, between you and myself, all you have to do is fence off an area. You don't even have to pave it.
Listen, they don't have to fence nothing. The area they're adjacent to this bathroom, right up to the next house, all of that is national park property.
Yes.
All they have to do is clean it up and demarcate it so that the parking could be regulated. This is a simple exercise.
I agree
But
with you.
I just thought to mention that, because when you're talking about tourists coming, people coming, the buses don't even have some place to park. The parking area at the top of the dance is private property being used. So I think this is the way we need to upgrade the dance, and while we're doing that, we upgrade the WAP, wait to the dance. Time enough.
Well, Carla, we just about the end of the tourist season. So now is a good time to talk about all these issues, so we could have a whole, like half a year to prepare for the next season. Put everything right. Go and clean up. Go and clean up all the historic sites and get brochures for them, etc. Do the meaningful things. Provide parking areas at all the sites. Do whatever you have to do to sell the product.
Clean up the lands. All you're talking about fences and decorating your fences for this screen, and the time to
The baton.
whatever. You have to clean up the landfills. The environment needs to be clean.
Yeah.
And this is a message to the Minister of the Environment.
The environment taking a
The
environment taking a beating, you know.
Excuse me?
The environment taking a beating.
A real beating at the cost of what? Putting money into a reserve fund.
Yeah.
Let us see now. If you've been to Virgin recently, we have a nice park. We spend a lot of money building a park adjacent to the administration building. If you have to walk down that road on a given morning,
Millionaire Road.
the stench that you would get coming from an open two drain alongside that road.
You're talking about
Millionaire's Road is the name.
right.
Specifically. And I asked the administrators and the agencies to take the walk or take the drive and see how unpleasant it is for all the different sewage water, soak away water that's entering that drain which goes to the marina. It is a disaster. The scent is atrocious. I don't know how the people living alongside that area can deal with it.
But
that
Carla,
needs to be dealt with.
but Carla, this is a good opportunity. I mean, the Easter Festival activities coming up in the next couple of days. This is a good time to fix that just before the activity.
Yeah, it's real terrible. It's real terrible, but there's no joke about it.
I know the situation. I'm aware of the situation, Carla.
Either you close the drain and prohibit these people from dumping the sewage overflow into it, because there's at times there's lots of sewage in that drain.
But you're bringing up a national problem that we have, where people see sewage. They see drainage as an area to dump sewage, run electrical line, all kind of things you wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
And you can't build a country like that.
Yeah,
The drainage is the drainage. You can't put sewer lines in the drainage. Come on, we have to be a little more.
And I find it strange. We just build a nice park for us to put our kids to play and relax, and then we have to face that shit coming down the road there. That need to be looked into. I could even go as far as saying that our administrators need to defend our people. When you put people out there to work, when they refer these situations to you, you need not tell them back off of that because a member of the constituency called and say, well, solid waste come to me. You need not to encourage the officers to back off. You need to try to find solutions to solve the problem rather than say, oh, back off them. Don't do nothing with them.
And you need to support. You need to support the civil servants. The people, the bosses of the civil servants need to support their workers.
No, but they're directing them, they're diverging them from doing their work. They leave that money. That's going to be okay. But in the meantime, our neighborhood deteriorating.
Yeah.
Our city, our town is growing.
So what do you think of my idea of best district competition?
Look, that is something that our people used to do traditionally. Remember, we used to keep our fences, our hedges, our land, our garden, everything. Our people used to that. But because of I don't know if the economics or whatever, that we have lost that type of behavior, and the only way to bring it back is for our administrators to lean towards it. Clean the community. We have tons and tons and tons of old vehicles and toilet vehicles parked on a piece of property. Tons and tons of it, and we're not making any effort to move them. Month after month, year after year, they're accumulating more and more.
Yeah.
So we're making our own home a dump. You understand? I'm totally fed up with that concept, and you have to deal with that now. Let's deal with something else.
Yeah.
You understand? We have one of our friends on the hill. They took the top half of Cow Hill, cut a large section of it, fill up one of our ponds, which causes us a lot of problems when the rain falls. A whole pond, Spanish Town pond, is being filled with rocks and debris. So the pond cannot work. So the community is in a mess.
Well, one of my conservation friends used to say, when you kill the pond, there goes the beach.
But that's what's going on with all the beaches on that side. If you want to fill the beaches on that shoreline,
that's what will happen if you kill the ponds are usually behind the beach. And if you kill the pond, the beach is going to die.
I am just simply appealing to administrators to not just think about the big. You have to look at the communities and the deterioration and try to give the people some kind of comfort.
They need to look at the legacy as well. Forget about the 4 years, you know. Everything can be done around 4 years. Look at your legacy. What will your legacy be, you know, at the end of this sojourn where we're on, you know?
Yeah, that's my point of view and my little contribution for the night and respect.
Hey, well, thank you very much for filling up our citizens' ears.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Carlos. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Sam, as usual, the good brother there does have a lot to say and enlighten us about things that are happening that we may not see on a regular basis because, you know, of the situation with the sister islands. But all of the points that he raised, I think, are some important points, and they have to do with some of the things that we raised earlier. Let's see, we have a couple of texts here. Let me see what people have been texting in the meantime. So, read the signed agreements and you will know why. Oh, okay, that must have been from something else before. No, okay. Yeah, I think the person is talking about the signed agreements with these companies that come in to do business with us. Good night, gentlemen. I am a concerned parent about bullying in schools. Girls to the boys, because they're girls, the boy has to take it. What will happen when they can't take it anymore? These girls should take responsibility for their actions. It's getting out of hand. Well, Sam, when I used to go to school, the boys were more aggressive. And I understand now from some colleagues of mine that the girls that are going to school now are more aggressive. They're actually challenging the young guys. So
The girls are rude, they're disrespectful,
yeah, but
they're looking to hit you first.
Yeah, they have to.
So
They have counselors in all these schools now. You know, I don't know if you're aware of that, but
they should have zero.
counselors.
They should have zero tolerance
They should.
for any
For bullying,
misbehavior.
for
from
any
both-
form, there's all kind of bullying.
That's right.
There's physical bullying. There's verbal bullying.
That's right.
There's
Whether it's
and-
boys or girls,
well, yeah.
zero tolerance.
Yeah, and I think that the various schools should have regular discussion on it and try to, because it shows its ugly face in a number of different ways. It's not any one way. You know, it's a number of different ways. It
I think what
manifests
was
itself.
unique recently, there was a situation in the paper with a young lady who was reprimanded and basically charged for assaulting her companion, a male, and they had a disagreement, and she decided to get physical, and I was very happy to hear that the cops came out. And this ain't the first time, but this one I was very happy to hear the cops came out, and the gentleman was able to refrain from retaliating, and it ended up in court. And the judge was nice enough to give him some good advice and give her an opportunity to go get counseling and so forth. But Courtney becoming a point. I don't want to be abused by neither man nor woman. And I tell everybody, if you're upset, walk away. Move away from the situation. Leave me alone. Don't put your hand on me. And I am not going to support no young lady out here, because the young ladies out here are just as bad, they're just as rude as some of the young boy them. And it's going to get worse if we don't put a stop to it. And that's why I say in every situation we should hold both boys and girls accountable for their action. As long as they have the will to understand, they know better, they could do better, and if they don't do better...
What you're talking about, that we have to encourage our gender fair people to look about changing the laws where they discriminate against the type of actions that happen. For example, the age of consent for a girl is 16, but the age of consent, they don't have no age of consent for a boy, you know? And we have to be realistic and understand that whatever we put across to young people and they understand, then they react to it. You know, it's like action reaction. So if you treat them bad, they in turn treat society bad. And we are to blame for that part of it. So we need to fix that part of it.
Yeah.
We need to treat them fairly and also expect fair treatment back from them. And I think it's an uphill battle, but we have to work on it.
Yeah, we gotta start somewhere, Courtney.
Election reform. We need some reform in the election process, Sam.
What would you like to see happen?
We want to see voter registration card. We want to see. We want to cut down on some of the misuse of the election system. It is something that it seems has been through the system for so long that nobody wants to change it. Nelson Mandela ran for election some 20 odd years ago, and they had a picture of each person on the voting card. I'm going to come back to that. We got a call. Good evening. You're free to speak your mind. Go right ahead, please. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
I am calling from the 9th district.
The 9th district.
Yes. I am calling to give my views and my opinion in the area where I live here.
All right, turn down your TV. Don't listen to yourself while you talk. Just talk to us.
I'm far from the TV.
Okay, I can hear the TV in the background.
You hear the TV in the background?
Yeah.
And I'm far from it and stand down.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to hear my voice concerning a situation here where I live. Sometime in the middle of last year, solid waste was not only in this area here, cleaning up the whole place.
Okay.
The end of the year came, December came, nobody came to clean up and make the place look decent and tidy. Now they were here about 2 weeks ago. Somebody came one day, cut some bush, another person came the other day, cutting the grass on the road. Well, I thought the road was getting cleaned, and when something found out, they cut the grass, and they left all the messes in the road. From the bakery down to the entrance and into Mahogany Rentals. I wish the Department of Katrina is listening tonight and will send somebody from Katrina to clean this road, please, because it's a disgrace. It will be very much embarrassing to know that these people are not doing their work, whoever supposed to be cleaning the street. They cut the grass, nobody is talking about all the cans. There's a bakery gets about toilet, and when the people come from the bakery, whatever they eat, they drink, they pass their cans and napkins in the room, the wind blowing going inside under my gate. I am a friend of my country and I can't enjoy the beauty of my country at all. Absolutely. This thing has gone on for a very long time. But it's only gone worse now instead of getting better. All the trash, the napkins, the soda cans, the water bottles, everything. What the wind blow down comes inside under my gate. I have to go there to pick it up and clean it up never mind too. I think this is embarrassing. This is ridiculous. This is wrong. But then if you come from the bakery, whatever they finish, their napkin, their spoon, their can, everything is the part in my area, it's inside my yard, it's perfect. This has gone on, not only last year, this has gone on for a very long time. And I'm really sad and distressed and fed up with this situation. It's really ridiculous, it's shameful and embarrassing for everybody to come here and see the portion of the world.
Well, Carla, let me ask you something. You ever put this across to your district officer?
Who's the district officer?
You on Virgin Gorda?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn Whitley?
Well, I didn't give that a thought really.
Yeah, because he's a government coordinator on the island, and those kind of things, when they come to his attention, he will deal with them.
Well, I really didn't know that because I know before time this area used to get it. Who was working with us, they were working clean up this area. They would cut grass, they would make it up, clean it up, and do all the cleaning. They wouldn't need nothing at all. But this Saturday they have working out. I'm going to tell you, if you see the cans and the trash and the trash are really inside my gate, so the cans, the side, the paper, the napkins, everything. It's still on the road. This is 2 weeks now. This is 2 weeks. So if this department don't have supervision, nobody supervises to see that they do their work properly. I'm not saying this is really embarrassing for this group. I don't really set up with it.
I hear you.
Because I'm a female in my country, and I cannot enjoy the paradise. I cannot enjoy paradise as it is for everybody.
I hear your frustration.
I should be able to feel happy in my country, and I don't have it. Let alone the rest of the rest.
I hear your frustration, and I hope that the people listening to the show who could take responsibility for the actions would do so.
I understand very well the rest of the on the wall, you know. Like it's from one disgrace to the next.
Okay.
But I feel to myself that if this country don't belong to me, and I don't have a right to feel happy and free and to enjoy life in a paradise, then I don't think anybody else should be enjoying what they're doing to really other people like me who are happy.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you as well. And don't despair. Seek help, and I'm sure you're going to get the help that you need. Okay?
Okay.
All right then.
I hope by Monday somebody come to clear this road because it's really a spiritual disaster.
And if they don't come by Monday, at least before Easter, this should be a wake up call for everybody to get together and clean up the place before Easter.
Easter is a long week.
No, Easter
is a long week.
My dear, Easter we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be spending a lot of money. We're going to have a lot of people in the streets dancing and all kind of stuff. Why we can't clean up the place properly?
This is what I want to know. Steelers can have the rest and the peace and translated your own country.
The respect.
From all of those where they come from.
The respect.
The kind of things in your country. This is wrong. This is something. I never let the rules in my country with no regular. And I tell my friends every time they were small kids, you walk on the road, you have a little can or nothing or something like that. Tell them kids will get home. They don't ever practice and they were small. Don't you ever get in the habit on the road. This is your country and be proud of your country. Sometimes you see people from all about the whatever they do, they put on the road. I tell you somebody one time, saw one of them do that and spoke to the person and said, no, you don't do this, there's nothing to get to our center and you think, oh, people get the discipline and they're not from here, you know, who said those things.
I heard that same argument already, which is not a good argument. I agree with you.
Okay. That doesn't show you exactly what we have to put up with.
That don't make any sense. Okay. But anyway, caller, thanks for your contribution.
You're welcome.
And we're going to take a break for the people that make the show possible. So we're going to be right back with you.
Say hello to the Digicel DL700, our newest best value Android smartphone with a 4-inch display, front-facing camera, and a 5-megapixel rear camera. It's perfect for snapping and sharing. Plus, it's super fast, so you can do more, play more, and share more. And choose to download from over 1 million apps available in the Google Play Store. The Digicel DL700, the latest addition to the Digicel Android smartphone range. Make the smart choice. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Welcome back, guys. So thanks again for the calls coming out of the 9th District. Up there in the 9th District, please, when you go to the supermarket, restaurant, bars, wherever, and you buy your product, please don't throw your stuff in the street. Keep your island clean. Keep it clean for yourself. Keep it clean for your visitors so we all can enjoy this piece of paradise. At the same time, solid waste, public work, people who supervise these folks up there, people who got contract work to go and clean bushes and cut grass and all that stuff, man, do a good job. Do a good job. People are complaining that you're doing a terrible job. I think some of you guys work hard, but those of you that are not working hard, do a good job. Stop being so sloppy. Stop leaving your garbage laying around after you don't cut the grass, you know, and be careful when you're out there doing your work. So, to that lady that called, we hear your frustration. I think your frustration is on both sides. You know, you got people who just basically go up the road, buy their product, come down after they're done eating. Instead of finding a garbage can, they throwing their stuff in your yard, and that's wrong. People shouldn't be walking around littering. Keep the place clean. Virgin Gorda just had a big cleanup. A big cleanup you guys just had. So let's keep it going. I think Tortola is due for one pretty soon. I saw something in the paper. So let's all get out and do our part. But you know, if you just get rid of your garbage the right way, we won't have to be cleaning up after each other all the time. It would already be done, because when you done use your wrap, you done finish with your drinking, your water, your plastic bottle and stuff, you put it in a proper bin. So let's do our part. So Courtney, you were talking about Larry Farm.
You just make me remember something. The 3 R's: recycle, reuse, and reduce.
Recycle, reuse, and reduce.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to reduce the amount of garbage that we produce, and we need to recycle the things that we could recycle, and we need to reuse the things that we could reuse. And if we ain't doing that, we ain't gonna ever begin to put a dent in solid waste management in the territory. And I think the newly renamed department, the solid waste department, I think that's one of the things that they're talking about rolling out as well. And they're also talking about the way we I don't know if they're planning new legislation, but I would like to recommend that they plan some new legislation to deal with garbage, and to divide the garbage into commercial and residential garbage, and handle it from a money making point of view. Don't put all the garbage in one bin, so to speak, and treat all of us the same, because commercial garbage is an expense for a business, whereas residential garbage is something that we believe that the government should help us to contain.
Yeah.
And in other words, even if you had to come down to paying for it, there must be a significantly lower cost to the residents than to commercial enterprise for garbage collection, whatever you want to call it, garbage collection, garbage recycling, you know. And what are we talking about, Sam? What about these pallets, these wooden pallets? You in Puerto Rico, right there next door, $5 for a pallet. Here we take them down to Popwood Pond and burn them up. And a pallet costs $5 right next door. You know, why we don't recycle it? We don't recycle the pallets. You should see the trucks taking them now, hundreds of them at a time.
I see them all the time.
We have a text. Let's see what the people are saying. It says, Sam, why Disney big ship cancel? Coming here in December.
No way.
Why Mac ain't telling the people?
You know, when you see them asking?
We don't know. We don't know either.
I don't know.
But yes, Sam. Things are coming down to a close. With the cruise tourism, and we're gonna have to rely more heavily now on the overnight people, and the people coming through St. Thomas, and the people coming through Beef Island.
Yeah. My hope, Courtney, is one day we could see a true year-round tourism season, land-based, cruise, sailing, weddings, the whole nine, the whole package. I want to see, you know, we're gonna have about 6 months of slow season.
But you could say slow, but I like to refer to it as unplanned. Because if you plan 12 months, you will have 12 months of activity.
I understand.
But if you plan 3 months or 6 months, that's all you're going to have. And not only that, if we don't even plan, we allow the agents to plan it. You know, so we in some instance, to me, the ones to blame, because we wouldn't push year-round tourism. We wouldn't push tourism for friends and family. We wouldn't puch sports tourism,
regional tourism.
Regional tourism. You know the whole 9 yards. All tourism product, Sam, in my opinion, is undersold.
Yeah. Well,
definitely undersold.
I feel we got some smart people in the driving seat. So hopefully one day, at least within this term and this government, we'll see some improvement. I know the Premier had tasked them guys with increasing by 10%. So
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You've reached Speak Your Mind show. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
One more time. I overlooked a point. Yeah, one more time. I overlooked a point that I wanted to make. And of course
You're listening to yourself in the turn off your radio.
No, I ain't listening to myself now.
Okay.
No, the TV I'm in high, but listen to me.
Okay.
I want to commend the people who work with the FIFA organization, engaging the youths in the soccer, Rama, or what have you.
Okay.
The people work very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a young son and I have opportunity to go to the recreation ground. Of course, this is the 9th district.
Yes.
And it's a deplorable situation just to enter the area with my kid to play sports.
Mm-hmm.
One, the playing field itself, the venue, is not graded. There's hills and valleys and ponds and ups and downs. And in addition to that, the litter and the garbage and what have you is atrocious. There's zero maintenance to the property, it appears. Only the persons concerned to the institution do a little cleaning. This is something that our government is supposed to really put as a priority and make it playable and be good enough for our kids to play and recreate without hurting themselves. If any one of you challenge anyone of you to come to Virgin Gorda and see what we have at the #1 sports facility, it's atrocious.
How long?
It's not level, it's uphill, it's downhill. The youths are kicking, they're twisting their ankles and holes.
Carla, in your opinion, how long has it been like that?
Years and years.
There you go.
Not 10, not 16, more than that.
There you go.
Recently, we have put a $300,000 wall around the facility with nothing on the interior, no attempt to grade and level surfaces so we could play and recreate. Nothing. We have people wanting to run on the field, we have soccer, and they have to play through a mountain and valley situation. It is deplorable. The person will come out to support them. There's no stand. There's one piece of stand. And you have to park in your cars right up against the field and look around. It is deplorable. We have a lot of kids in this district, and we need to take them to heart. And the minister responsible need to pay a personal visit there and see what could be done to slightly upgrade the ground. You don't need to spend $1 million there. We just need to have the ground graded and leveled so the grass can grow evenly over the surfaces. That's a simple project.
We're calling
$900,000 park and forgetting the children.
Well, Carl, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now, though, because I'm hearing on the radio from week to week, this minister is going to Virgin Gorda and the office hours is from 9 to 4. This minister is going to Virgin Gorda and the office hours is from 3 to 5. I mean, can't you bring this information to the minister during this time?
Most definitely. Most definitely you could bring it. What will be the result? What will be the result? And I'm not wasting any more time. I figure by getting to the populace, by letting the people, the populace of the people really see and understand what's going on. These good ministers come in here, they come in and spending 2-3 hours in their offices, making quick notes and leaving and saying, I'll deal with it. Nothing is happening. Personal favors, yes, may be granted, but these issues are serious. We need to look out for the kids. We want to keep them out of the street. We want to keep them out of crime. And we don't have a recreational facility.
Well, Carla, that's something I've been saying on the show. I think we should take care of the two ends of the candle, the youngest and the oldest. Any society that don't look after the young people and look after the elderly is a dying society.
Yep. Well, again, I guess time is of the essence right now, but coming on your next live show,
Yeah.
I am coming with fisheries, conservation and fisheries. They need to do their thing here too.
Okay.
So next week, Fathersville, I'll be right here.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, Carl.
All right. Thanks for your contribution as usual.
That was again from the 9th District, Courtney. 9th District on fire. I wish people from Anegada call us and let us know as well.
Anegada ain't done secede already. I've been hearing so much talk about the 9th District, and I ain't hearing anything from my people in Anegada.
Yeah,
And I know Anegada have a lot of issues, so
a lot.
maybe they're just about to the boiling point of begging to be an entirely different district and get special attention. Maybe we've come of age for that to happen. You know, maybe we need to look at the way the country is divided up and see what kind of representation. All us pay taxes, and all us demand and require
Well, Courtney, you know,
better representation.
you do realize that Virgin Gorda have a district rep, which ties in with Anegada. You have an 8 district rep, 7 district rep,
Yeah,
6
but
district rep.
all the districts have 5 representatives.
We have a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd district rep. And you know, you do realize that a lot of times, depending on which government is running the show, even some of these districts will have strong advocate.
They don't get too much.
They don't get too much.
Yeah, but don't forget something, Sam. Because of the way our constitution is structured, each district has 5 representatives, 4 at large, and one district representative.
And some of these districts still can't get the kind of representation it deserves. So it's
and yet still we continue to pay taxes.
Well,
you know,
well that's a given. You ain't gonna be able to fight that one because the tax collector gonna get his.
One of the reasons why the United States break away from from being a territory of the United Kingdom, because it was taxation without representation. This is history. So if you decide to tax people and not give them representation, they're going to get aggrieved, and eventually they're going to get frustrated.
Well, then maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe the people need to be frustrated.
Yeah.
They need to get out and riot. They need to get out and advocate for change. There's no reason why the people in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd district, or even the 9th district, who feel as if they're not getting proper representation, despite the fact that they're paying taxes, shouldn't get out there and make enough noise. If you make enough noise, you should get change. If you ain't get no change, and like you said,
I like how you said that. You know, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 9th district. I didn't even think of it like that.
Well, I mean, those are the district right now. We hear a lot about complaining.
Yeah, but I have some other districts that are not getting any attention, but they're not complaining.
There's a few districts that are not getting their full attention, but they are getting some sort of change. And those people are not complaining because majority of the people in those districts might be supporters. So they're gonna keep quiet and hope that even if they ain't getting it now, they might get it later on when the contract starts sharing, the work starts sharing, and so forth. But I think, Courtney, you know, the bottom line is that we have a system where, you know, I personally like the way you elect people in, say, St. Thomas or United States. You know, each person will run on his own strength, and he come part of a party, and the party, you know, that person can go in the house and he can debate, he can disagree. You know, right now we have people within the system, government, who don't necessarily agree, but they get in the house and they come up one face and make you think like they all agree with things that are happening, when you know fully well they don't agree. So therefore we continue to get this type of behavior where everything seems like it's nice. They give us this pretty picture. Yeah, everything looks good. Don't worry, we're going to take care of it. At the end of the day, we're getting people complaining about, you know, poor representation. So something needs to happen. Something needs to happen, and until an individual job is being threatened, where he realizes it's not so secure, we ain't gonna get no change.
But I'm glad you mentioned about jobs, because that's one of the things I wanted to touch on. The fact that a lot of people are out of work, and it seems like a lot of the jobs are becoming scarce in the territory, and we need to really pay attention to that, especially since college and high school is, you know, maybe 2 months away from closing now, and you're going to have another 220, like another 400 people either going to be looking to go into the job market, or at least half of them going to college and half of them going into the job market.
So you saying that we're going to have a very slow tourism season. We're going to have a bunch of people coming out of between high school and college, local college, looking for employment.
Yeah.
We're going to have a number of people who are employed in a tourism sector, who some of them on work permit, some of them are locals, who going to be out of a job for 3 months at least.
Yeah.
You're saying that despite all of that, we're going to put $15 million in the reserve.
Yep.
Okay, well, then if it works.
A text came in and said, you all see the new t-shirt out? It read NDP must go. Do you?
No.
Do you all want one called W? Okay.
No, man, no. We're not campaigning.
This is March 22nd, and they say it must be where the eyes of March.
Yeah.
But Sam, the people are telling us things that we don't know. I don't know that exists, but I'll keep my eyes and ears open, especially since we are in this type of environment that I'm describing to you, where people are out of work, and it seems like we're going to go a bit slower than we're going right now for the next couple of months.
Yeah, well, not couple, Courtney, few. We're talking about next month. The cruise ship season pretty much is dead. So you got May, June, July, August, September, October before it kicks in again. And right now the ships we're getting is the European ships. I don't know anything about the Disney ship pulling out in December. We'll have to investigate that. Hopefully the government will bring us some information. I did hear some talk from the last sea trade, what just took place, but of course the people who went are not going to come back and tell us anything that's negative. So we will have to go to other sources to get that information. Of course, the land-based tourism, you know, that dies down. Cane Academy, Foxy's, Jocelyn Dyke, all those places going to start seeing less numbers as far as overnight guests. So that's devastating on our local economy and our local owners and operators of these businesses. So it's going to be challenging. This year, I believe, going to be a challenging year, Courtney, for the next 6 months. So all I can tell people, whatever little bit you got now, if you go sacrifice, try to pay up some of those bills, that are regular, and you have an idea what you normally pay. Try to pay those bills up. Give yourself 2 or 3 months of relief. You know, that's the only way out, man. So. Courtney, that's my closing. I just want to thank people for tuning in. I thought it was fruitful. And it, as usual, we always here to listen. So that's what we did tonight. So Courtney, I'll let you do your thing, and we'll be ready to go.
I see. The guy said, I see Eggy with one of the t-shirts today. Oh boy. Anyways, one of the things we didn't touch on that I want to talk about is overcrowding at the prison. I know that prison facility was built for about 60 people, and they have over 120 people. And if you read the daily papers during the week, you will see that in a sense, the judiciary, the people, that they're aware that you can't sentence as many people as they were doing in the past. That may be a good thing, but at the same time, we need to deal with the issues at the prison. One of them is that we have people in the prison who haven't even got sentences yet. We have people there waiting on the court date. We have people waiting on all kind of other things, and I think that is wrong, because these people are there for years now. You can't. That is unfair justice. That's no justice, because what you're doing is you're making a person serve a sentence even before they get convicted. What kind of society is that? I mean, people don't want to talk about these things because not anybody that directly related to them or something like that. But that I think we as a community, we have to stop that kind of behavior, man. We have to understand that, you know, it could be you next, it could be me next, you know. Let us treat people fair and with respect, you know, and let justice take its course. You know, there are people, and I really mean this because I myself got caught up in something already where I was reprimanded by a senior person and tell me I turned police, judge, everything one time, right? So we had to go and correct all what I did, okay? So we as a community, we have to be able to hold each other accountable. And we also have to grow up treating people fairly. Because those same people who you treat unfairly will come back in society and they will wreak havoc. Okay? And it's unfair to treat people in a manner like that. We can't be judging people before the fact. You can't judge me before I do something. Wait until I do it. Okay? And I think that is something that we have to, we have to continue to encourage the people in the community to stand for. We got one last text here. I think before we wrap up, let's see what it said. It said, good night. What about the basketball court? When we going to get it? The materials, them over there sitting Virgin Gorda. See Virgin Gorda on fire tonight. Well, I heard all kind of promises for that basketball court, so my guess is that you're going to get it pretty soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a wonderful show tonight, Sam. We had a number of texts, a number of calls. We touched on election reform, 60th anniversary. We touched on the debates that are going on tonight. We talked about the Queen baton that's going to be traveling around the territory in the next couple of days. We talked about the jobs and touch a little bit on the prison. We got a good dialogue with some people in the 9th district talking about issues, some of them very old, some of them current in the 9th district that needs addressing. So, Sam, all in all, we had a very good show, and at this time, I'd just like to say, to the people out there or the people that usually say to me, I big up everybody that said to me that I should big them up on the show. And as I like to close the show by saying, God bless these Virgin Islands and the beautiful people that live in it, and we'll see you again next week.